backstage with this mask on. Why do you have that? Why are we covering your face?
Because there's a lot of people that want to bust me for a lot of the damage I've done.
Yeah?
And I just don't want to get in trouble for it again.
You've gotten in trouble in the past? What's happened?
I got in jail a couple times.
But you still do it?
Hell yeah.
So how long have you been tagging?
5, 6 years.
5. And what about you, Skert?
At least 10.
At least 10? What is this rush thing? What is the rush that you get from it?
It's the ultimate rush. Nothing can beat it. No drugs, no nothing.
Are you the kind of person who goes up on those signs on the freeway?
Yeah, more than anyone.
Have you always wondered how people got up there? How do you get up there?
I can't tell you that.
Come on. I can't see your face. How do you get up there?
I can't. That's like part of the secret. That's why people like graffiti so much, you know.
Magician doesn't tell his tricks, so you know.
Exactly.
But is that the rush?
Yeah, definitely, man. I mean, do more than what other people have done, you know.
Why do you do it? And why don't you paint at home? Or why is it you go out and do it on the signs?
Because it's fun. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I accomplished something, you know.
What have you accomplished?
Destruction.
Are you proud of that? Is that what your goal is to destroy?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it makes me feel good.
Skert, what about you?
Well, it's like bigger and better fame, better advertisement than what's out there. I mean, you know, I'd rather look at someone's piece or someone else doing something, or even my own, rather than an advertisement or something of someone. You know, that's the crap that's out there.
But isn't there another way to do art? Because I don't understand I never even actually thought of
hey,
art.
you could look at you could go to a museum. You could say, well, was that art? Well, there's been questions, you know, for as long as probably art's been done.
But is there another way for you to, you're talking about fame. What kind of fame is that?
Fame among friends, fame among other people, other cities, other counties, even other states, other continents. It's gone to that extreme already, where it's reached all around the world.
What do you mean? Somebody looks at your thing and all around the world they know?
It might get published in one of the graffiti magazines or whatnot, or the books. That travels all over the place.
Velma, you have some other taggers out there as well, don't you?
Yep. We're about to hit this wall, Gabriel. Go ahead, hit it. This is what they do. They come in with their spray cans. In fact, Gabriel, this place is kind of famous. It's kind of like a museum. It's been here for years.
Right.
And it's one of the big places for tagging. You can see it's all around here.
Velma, let's talk about this tagging. People are really into this. What is tagging versus graffiti? It's not the same thing, right?
Well, actually, graffiti is a broad term. It's just there are different types of graffiti. For instance, he's just putting up, what are you calling this? Just some letters, right?
My homeboy.
Just putting out a little shout out. Well, what do you call it? Is that just a throw up?
Just having fun.
It's just having fun to him.
Now,
there's different levels. There's what's called a throw up, which is something kind of like this. You know, something a little more sophisticated, something a little more detailed.
Right.
Then there are letters.
I want to know something, Velma. Are these guys gang members?
No. No, not that I know of. I mean, I can't say that, Gabriel. I don't know the answer.
For you guys here, do you do it alone or do you do it in groups?
It's nice to do it in a group because then you got someone watching your back just in case. But if you're alone, you know.
Okay.
Do
Let's see the wall.
There are things called crews, which are tagging groups. As you can see, that this right here is just a tag. That's just somebody's name. Now that's sort of level 1, the lowest level. Here up top, you see this? This is a throw up, or maybe if depending on your taste, maybe somebody will consider that a burner. Basically, the difference is if you think it's really great, then it's a burner. If you think it's just kind of thrown up there, then it's a throw up.
Right.
And then of course these more sophisticated, artistic, colorful pieces, these are definitely burners with all the color and the spectacle.
Can I bump in right there for a minute?
Yeah, go ahead.
That's not a burner.
You don't think?
No, that's definitely not a burner. A burner would be something more muralistic, something that's big, broad, something that someone's actually spent more than 20 minutes or 10 minutes.
Like I said, it's a matter of opinion.
No, that's not a matter of opinion. It's the truth. I mean, I know what I'm talking about, so you know.
I'm sure you do, and so do these guys, and they say it's a burner. So you say it's not, so who knows?
They don't know what they're talking about then. A burner would be a mural. I mean, dude, I've done burners, man. We spend like whole days or even days doing them.
You know what, Velma? I want to introduce our next guest here, okay? Because he's been looking over the whole time this guest's been talking. Everybody, I'd like you to meet Tony. Tony is a man who tried to defend your home, and you were attacked by taggers. Is that right?
Actually, I walked into an alley on 4 taggers that I saw.
Right.
When I got into the alley and tried to stop them and tried to put them under citizen's arrest, they turned around. Go figure. I tried to stop them from spray painting my area, and we had just cleaned up our neighborhood.
Right.
Well, when I got in the alley, there were 16 gang members against me.
And you got shot, didn't you?
After we had a few altercations, they tried to run me over with a car.
Right.
I took a baseball bat and destroyed it with 6 gang members in it.
All right. Why did you applaud when you heard the fact that he?
Why is he in the alley in the first place? That's none of his business right there. He didn't have to try to citizens arrest him or whatever, you know?
Okay.
Wait a minute. Now, you step into my hood, in my neighborhood, and you deface my property. That's like me walking up and taking your car.
You see what happens, though. You see what happens, though.
You're gonna come back on me.
Wait a minute. Let Tony talk.
You guys talk about fame and recognition.
Well, you got your fame recognition.
Look at the back of this shirt.
You got your
There's your fame. That guy's laying underneath that. That guy's laying underneath that truck, and he's dead.
You got a bullet in your stomach. That was your fame. You got a bullet in your
Tony,
stomach.
sit down for me.
Otherwise, you'd be nobody.
Right here, he's showing it's a person who was, I guess, tagging, and he was run over by a car. Is that it? Okay, sit down.
Now, you guys are out there trying to tag in these weird places. You got homeowners that come out. They're just trying to protect their property. They spent 20 years trying to buy something. In today's society, that's hard enough. To have you guys come in and deface their property, that's wrong. And for me to go up and stop them, that's right. The American way, man. We got to take back our streets. We're tired of the streets being run by the gangs and the taggers and everything else because you guys have no consideration for us or our property.
I just want to say, how would you guys feel if somebody came and destroyed your property? And most of the time, you can't even read what you guys write up on the walls anyway.
We don't do it for you anyway.
Now, let's get to another problem.
Let them answer that.
Wait.
We don't do it for the normal people to read anyway. We're doing it for the other writers.
For us, it's our group of people. You know,
Our group.
It's our group. Even I'm sure, like you're in that age group. I mean, you're part of that hip hop culture.
But what kind of fame do you get? You're not getting paid for it, so what kind of fame do you get?
Yeah, we have gotten paid
You know what?
for
You're
it.
wrong, because I'm getting paid to bomb right now.
You're getting paid to what?
Fame between us.
I'm getting paid to write right now.
So how do you become popular?
I become popular with others. There are others who have done it, who've experienced the life.
What kind of fame? I haven't seen you anywhere.
All right, you guys, we're going to talk more about...
The only fame you got shot.
I've been all over the country. I've been talking on a couple of shows, and I tell you what, you guys don't have any fame because I ain't seen you nowhere.
You wanted to say something?
Yes, to the one with the blue rag on his face. If you want all the fame and the glory of tagging on the walls, once you come correct, once you take off the rag and reveal yourself, show who you really are.
Do it. Want the fame, get it.
No.
Are you going to take it off?
It's not about my personal identity. It's about my graffiti name. I don't care about my personal identity. That doesn't matter, you know.
And what do you got to lose? Come on.
Shut up.
Why is that a good answer? Are you a tagger?
I'm a writer, straight up, and that's what I'm going to clarify. There's a difference between taggers, writers, and graffiti artists, and there's a difference between bombing and scribbling your name on the wall. And he's right about, like, not showing his personal identity because he's getting his fame on the streets, so he is getting fame, number one. Number two, like, you say, like, you were in the alley, and then you contradict yourself and say people is, like, working 20 years for their houses, so, like, we ain't writing on the house. We was right in the alley where you caught yourself, and then you caught yourself slipping when you said there were gang members running up on you, 16 of them.
Yes.
And you just said there were 4 taggers, so like, I
No,
can't
they're
picture what you're
graffiti
talking
gang
about.
member taggers. There is a difference.
What are you talking about?
Taggers and graffiti artists.
Wait. These people that I was going up against were a gang from Linda Vista. Okay.
I've heard of that.
Okay. The bottom line was they were also tagging and doing graffiti. They were taking other gang members from a different area and they were writing a line through it saying they're going to kill somebody. Now that is a blatant excuse to go out into somebody other area and say they're going to kill somebody or take them out off the face of this earth.
So don't call them taggers then, man.
That is just not right. That's a straight out death threat, and you all you guys know that.
If there were gang members here, then you talk to the gang members about that. But then that is not the case.
Okay, well maybe you're right. Maybe okay, there is 2 kinds. There's taggers and then there's gang taggers.
I would just like to tell you that there's about, right now in '95, there's about 20% of the graffiti world that is down for graffiti, that's down for like doing the artistic work, that respects like most of the things that you're complaining about. And the 80% that
you want to
became
do art?
trendy,
Go to college.
and the 80, hey, you know what? The 80% that like turned into like people that don't respect. The people that don't respect, that's
If
true.
you're
It
that
became
good
into
at
the
art,
graffiti.
I'll get
The
you a
graffiti
degree.
art, they're just like gang members. 80% of the graffiti force in '95, like they're not down with the original hip hop. They're not down with the like knowledge of graffiti, but there's 20% that are down, and those are two people sitting to your left right now.
All right. Thelma, you have some people who want to say something out there, right? What do you guys want to say?
Some of the claims about the tagging being mostly by gang members. Is that true?
No, that's not true at all. Most of us are just normal people who just go out, paint for other reasons. Some people just want to have fun. Other people do it for fame.
Gabriel asked me earlier if you're a gang member. Are you?
No. No.
You know what, Thelma, though? I'm struck with something that was said here. This was said in the first segment, and we really haven't addressed it. As cool as everybody thinks it is, here you are, GKae, saying you like to destroy property. I mean, there are people out there who would say, yo, hello, you're destroying other people's property. Why is that okay?
I didn't say I think it was okay. I just said I like to do it.
That's okay.
That's okay? You like to
Hey, well, you know what? I've seen stuff where this guy's gone up, and it's like, yeah, that really ugly wall that's like all tagged up, but yeah, he'll go over it, and he'll do something nice, big and bold, and nice. It's going over the crap to some extent.
Pretty much
or else going over like old abandoned buildings. No one cares about that building.
Pretty much to me, the graffiti I'm doing makes...
But what about, you're talking about, that's not only old abandoned buildings. It's signs, it's schools, it's the streets. It's not just old abandoned buildings.
Public property that we have to pay for is what it is.
Yeah, whatever, man.
You say whatever, GKae. I think it's interesting. I mean, I want to hear about it, but it's not just whatever. Thelma, go on.
Yeah, Gabriel? This is John. He's with LACC, which is LA
Conservation Corps, and I'm also a former writer named Zender. I'm here to kind of like talk a little bit about a lot of people, you got a lot of zeal people on one side saying it's a bunch of, trash it. Then you have writers saying, no, it's a work of art. We have to also clarify that there is a point where one graduates from one to another to another. When I used to write, I was a writer, and I was at Otis Parsons Art Institute. I'm an artist, and I went writing.
Right.
So not tagging. That tagging is brand new. It's a new thing.
But when you started years ago, like in the early '80s,
right.
and you were destroying people's property, how did you reconcile that in your mind?
Back in the '80s, we were trying to come up. When you try to come up, you try to come up with a burner. Same thing as New York. Like Seth was saying, we took abandoned buildings, sides of walls that were completely vandalized. We did burners, murals, which you hardly ever see anymore. Maybe K4P.
But it was people's property. How did you reconcile?
They were mostly abandoned property. But we found out later on that these people, as the property owners, would now pay us to do murals. They will even, give us permission. So there isn't no. If you're a piecer, there's no need for you to do it illegal unless you want to do it for the energy, for the impulse of it. And that's a whole different story.
One of the other guys was telling me too that he doesn't even want anybody coming near his neighborhood with this stuff, and that's why he doesn't do it on people's property, only in places like this.
Oh, good. I want to talk to him a little bit later. All right, and we'll talk more about that. But up next, a night of tagging that ended in death. The war between property owners and graffiti taggers. What did you want to say?
Well, I just want to comment on all the shallow-mindedness and ignorance that's going on in this room. Because there's no talk of all the social conditions that first brought it up. And it's kind of reminding me of like how, what's going on with rap music right now.
For you, it's art and it's expression.
It is very much expression, and it is art.
All right, you know what? Sit down, thank you. I want everybody to meet Brett. Brett is a businessman, and he doesn't agree with you. Brett, you have a definite issue towards people who tag and do graffiti. Why?
Well, if an individual owns their own house and they want to paint it purple, that's fine. But when you go around and start painting and tagging other people's buildings, it costs millions of dollars each year to clean that up. In Los Angeles County alone, we're spending $40 million of public money just to clean up the graffiti, and over $110 million in private dollars to clean up the mess called tagging. And tagging, let's get honest, folks, it's nothing more than, it's akin to animals going around marking their territory. It's nothing more than that.
Can I say something? I need to say something. that's young nowadays, I mean, we've been the enemy, you know what I mean? What programs is the society giving us, or, you know, giving the youth? What programs are they giving us? Look at all the budget cuts. I can remember, like 4 or 5 years ago, having to go to the library to do my homework, and it was closed. And it was like a weekday, it was like 5 o'clock, you know what I mean? And that's what kind of cuts like, even youth centers, when we first started doing graffiti, there were youth centers, when we were able to go. No, it's not necessarily an excuse, but yet what other routes or alternatives is there out there for a lot of these young kids who don't know, who are who are tagging these people's property? There are some to a certain extreme who are ignorant, who are
Let me ask this. What gives you the right to destroy somebody else's property? That is not your right. For every right, you have a responsibility in society, and you need to fess up to it. You don't have the right to destroy property.
I would prefer, like at some point, there were a lot more places where we were able to do it legally. There were a lot of places, but under the conditions of whatever, maybe whatnot.
You said this makes you famous. So if I gave you a place to go, would that be enough? You're going up on signs. You're saying that you like the risk. You like the rush. You say it's almost, I just asked you at the break, I said, is this like bungee jumping to you? And you said it's a thrill. So does it really matter if we give you a place to go?
Is it a thrill that somebody's going to confront you or what?
You have to look at what it's doing to society. The cost to society to repair freeway overpass signs, to hose those off, it costs money, costs time. We're not getting potholes filled. We're not getting the services that you want because we're spending it cleaning up after people like you that are painting buildings.
We have a question.
You're taking the money out of our pocket.
I got a question for all you taggers. What does tagging got to do with hip-hop?
Nothing.
You know what? Rap culture. I mean, how can you compare it to rap, though? I want to know how can you compare it to rap?
It grew out of that.
Tagging, how can you say graffiti is in the hip-hop culture? Hip-hop is rap. Rhyming and beat.
Oh, dude, you're a fool, man. I can't believe it, dude. I cannot believe that.
I got it that you're saying that for you graffiti and the tagging is a form of art. We have a young woman here. I'd like you all to meet Lilia. Hey, Lilia, graffiti and tagging is not an art for you. It's for you. You lost your brother because of it. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, first of all, I would like to say, you know, my brother wasn't no gang member. My brother didn't smoke. My brother didn't drink. I mean, and it just, you know, I don't think he realized, you know, that he was going to die for it. You know, I don't think he realized the pain that he was going to put me through, his only sister, and his family. If he would have realized, I think maybe he would have not tagged. Tagging ain't the same like it was before. You can die for it. And just think of what you're going to put your family through if you die. Think about what you're going to put your mom through.
What happened to your brother?
I got a phone call in the middle of the night, and they said your brother's been shot. And so I said, what do you mean? And I ran down the stairs with my baby in pajamas, and then we rushed to the hospital to see if he was there, and he wasn't there. And I said, well, what do you mean he's not here? You know, he's my brother. He's wearing, black pants, Mickey Mouse shirt, black Mickey Mouse shirt, gray sweatshirt. He's got white shoes on. And they said, he's not here. We don't have any gunshot wound patients. So I told the guys to take me to the scene. And I rushed to the scene. I got off, and I told the police officer, I said, there was a young man that was shot. You know, he's wearing black pants. I described him. Right. And then he said, you need to calm down. I said, I can't calm down. You know, if he's hurting, if he's crying, if he's calling for my mom, I want to be there. So that's my only brother. And he said, well, you need to calm down. I said, I can't calm down if I don't know where he's at. And then they said, I'm sorry, miss, but your brother's no longer with us today. And I said, that can't be. What
happened?
And then I said, what happened? Why did he die? And then I said, you need to hold on. And then made me hold on. Then, I got arrested, and then with my baby, and then they took us to the police station. And then that's when I found out that he died because he was tagging.
He was tagging, and he's been shot. Yeah, do you guys know people who died from tagging?
Of course. Not in specific, like in that moment, but I could honestly say, much respect, for your familia or whatever. I'm sorry,
Thank you.
Because it's not a good thing that happened. That's definitely true. And the guy that did it he's kind of wasn't all together. Let's just put it that way. But I could also make a fairly good point. I don't know if it means a whole lot to you, but growing up, in this type of environment, there are some who have taken it beyond, who actually, you could say, graffiti basically saved their lives. But it has taken other people's lives.
I think we need to focus more on that guy was a sicko, you know?
Yeah, but you know, the idea is that you know it's dangerous out there. We're talking about people who are getting shot and dying, but you're sitting next to a man who was shot.
I know.
So
I took a bullet 10 inches through my body for tagging.
Well, you
I
shouldn't have got involved.
died.
Shouldn't have got involved.
I should have got involved. It's not on my
you know
Those are gang members.
Call the cops.
Those are gang members. I'm not gonna go mess with like 4 gang members. I see them doing something. I'm like, go ahead, do your thing. I'm not
you guys.
No, wait a minute.
Hey, you have something you wanted to say?
Yeah, I agree with the guy in the beige shirt in the middle about the society and the conditions of poverty that causes this. It's an outlet for people. Come from the inner city of Philadelphia, and I used to bomb and tag myself. And one of my friends died on the L train right up there. He got beheaded. But I'm just saying that I know from being in a poverty situation myself, it was an outlet for myself as well as my friends. So I agree with it. It also beautified our city and so our sections.
So you find it's beautiful. You lost your friend. Do you still do it?
Oh, no, I don't do it now because I grew up. But I said when I was younger, it was an outlet for me.
Well, you know, Gabriel, I was going to say that would make a great marketing line. Tagging, is it worth losing your head over? So.
You know what?
I don't think that's that funny, eh?
But also, we are talking about an outlet. Brett, you have a business. You said you're a businessman. What is it you do?
I'm in the printing industry.
Now,
so I deal with colors all day long, but in a constructive way.
Do you offer anything? Do you offer anything to the youth so that they can have an outlet? Do you do anything in your business?
I'm very active in my community, trying to support community organizations, active at my church. And I think the most important thing you can do is teach rights and responsibilities to your children.
What the El Bandito or whatever? What's that cross mean to you, you know? What does that mean to you? Don't you love Jesus Christ, you know?
Graffiti has nothing to do with Jesus Christ, man.
All right. All right, thank you. You got a question? Okay.
Excuse me, all these people talking about poverty, you're going to say graffiti is an outlet. Hold on, what you know about poverty? Now, both my parents are dead. I ain't ate for 2 weeks at some time. You think I went out to write on the wall? That money that I spent on pray cans, I could be spending on food. Talking about poverty. You don't know what poverty is. You don't. All right, you might know what it is, but I picked up a basketball. I picked up a book. Forget basketball. I picked up a book.
You can smile. That was all for you.
I want to say one thing about the poverty issue. We've been hearing this garbage that poverty causes all of these societal ills. Let me say this. During the Great Depression, and any of you that go to school and you read history, you'll know this too. During the Great Depression, at the worst time in our country, there wasn't tagging, there wasn't the rate of murder. It's because the family was intact, and we were teaching values in the schools, and we knew the difference between right and wrong, and you did not go around and destroy other people's property.
Hang on.
What GKae, go on.
Hang on, my graffiti has nothing to do with poverty because I came from a good family, you know. They tell me right from wrong. It's just I choose to do this, you know. This is what makes me feel good. This is what I like to do. And I'm going to do it no matter what.
See, but maybe GKae, maybe what you're doing is the thing that's upsetting you, Brett. Maybe it's the fact because you say it makes you feel good and you don't care that you're destroying other people's property. And then we're hearing, wait a minute. Then we are hearing from other young people who are saying they need an outlet. It's a form of expression. Keith Haring is a famous artist. He's dead now, but he was a graffiti artist. And now he had an outlet. He became an artist that I have his work in my house. So maybe it's not that all tagging, and I have to tell you something, this is definitely an education for me, but maybe all tagging isn't about destruction.
I got a few comments. First of all, when they were speaking on, like earlier during the show, when they were saying, the man stood up and he showed the back of his shirt with the guy killed because he was against tagging. Then we hear this man say he gave much respect to her because of her brother, whatever the case may be. But when he was standing up showing his shirt and they were talking about what happened to people that was against it, they had all these taggers here, we had the ones on stage, they applauding and clapping, but now they're showing respect for it. Another thing, they talk about graffiti and tagging, how it's an art. Go to art school. They want to do that.
Art school.
Okay.
Hey, you know what? I do.
Make one last thing.
I do.
This guy come up here and he talking about how proud you one person out of how many?
Huh? Hey, there's plenty of good stories.
Yeah.
I have plenty of friends that have already graduated.
This young man here, he acting like he's so proud. The ones on the screen, they acting proud. They all talking about, you know, how much of a rush they get and all this. Half of them are cowards. He got a mask on. The ones on TV got a mask on. We were speaking about graffiti here in the crowd. We were speaking about it here. Me and my brother here, we was talking about it. This young man here, he turning around looking back and forth to hear what we talking about. Here we talking about, he turn around, he hush-hush. He turns to his boys, they hush-hush. As soon as they get to talking about something on the show, one of them stand up and say something, then they clapping and cheering for him. They ain't number followers.
Thank you.
Hey, no, they're not just followers.
Thelma, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, we've got, of course, the graffiti artist right here doing what he's doing. He's in progress. What did you want to say to some of the people back in the studio?
Well, I think basically that, I mean, I started off just writing on the streets like most of the kids do, but I moved on to piecing. But, I mean, for a lot of kids, they can't do that because there aren't a lot of guys like us around, you know, teaching.
But they want to know why you don't just get a canvas and do art in your own house instead of on people's property.
Well, it's not all about just doing it on people's property. A lot of time it's just, you know, we have like spots we call yards, and a lot of time they're out of the public eye. But, you know, it's like we've chosen these spots, but then like the law enforcement or whoever comes in and shuts them down. So then we go and do it in the public, you know.
But it's not your property anyway. I mean, even if it's a yard, like this is a yard. This isn't yours. Why do you do this here? Why do you do this anyway? That's what they want to know.
Because nobody cares about this spot. You know, nobody does. I mean, there's homeless people like right down here in the pit right next to us, and there's trash all over the place. So we just come here to add a little color. You know what I'm saying? For some people.
That would be great if that was, you know, we have to go to a break, but that would be great if that was the only place it was being done. But you're not hearing about just those places. We're hearing about businesses and other public properties.
But see, for most kids, they're not being shown respect, so they don't have respect for anything out there. I mean, if you're respected all your life, sure you're gonna have respect for other things. But if you're never given any chances or any kind of respect, then you're not gonna respect anything.
All right,
you know?
well, we're gonna talk about that respect. Up next, tagging for dollars. Who's making money off graffiti? And you'll be surprised. So stay with us.
Miss Selfridge is about clothes that you have fun in. Miss Selfridge really is the heart of fashion. But we want our clothes to stay looking great. Sarah Golding.
We're talking to people who say, stop trashing my neighborhood. They say graffiti is vandalization. That's all.
You know, personally, I like to say that, you know how you go to museums and you see a bunch of paint just splashed up on the wall or a statue or something twisty? I'd rather go to an alley and see a big mural done to where I can read it and like all the colors. When you go to a museum, you don't know what that means. Somebody just splashed the paint up on a piece of paper. You don't know what that means. But if you go to an alley, I can read that speed. You know, I like it. I like the colors, and it's just a form of expression, you know? It's the way they get off, you know what I'm saying? I'd rather, I mean, like he said, he was in the alley. If I seen 4 guys in the alley tagging on the wall, I'm not going to bother them. I'm going to keep walking and mind my business.
And all that's going to do is invite more crime and more problems in your neighborhood.
Excuse me, as an educator, we all talk about how society is wrong and how we're not trying to do this and that. None of us in this audience has talked about solutions. You seem very intelligent. You have a gift. You can turn that around, get your little youth going.
Well,
I
do.
Not you, the man right here. Yeah, but Sket's in school, right? Yeah, like you're in school.
Yeah.
As a coach, as a teacher, I'm trying to help those kids along just
Good.
like you can.
Great.
Instead of saying...
That's like one of my goals is like maybe even go on and get my MFA. And if I were to teach, I'd teach in the worst ghettos.
And then
I know that out of those, maybe a class of 20, 30 students, maybe 1 or 2 will say, hey, you know what? I'm going to take art as my route.
You know, that is
break
right.
out. And 1 or 2 students out of maybe 20 or 30, hey, man, that's good enough for me.
But it starts now.
I even have a friend in the audience right now that works with kids.
Can I ask her a question?
Yes.
Are you teaching your students right and wrong and to respect people's property?
See, let me tell you, hold on.
Good.
Excuse me, I am teaching my students not only to be better basketball players, but to be better human beings.
Good.
Whether that is, wait a minute, whether, as I said this before, and they can confirm, I was not put on this urge to judge them. I am here to help them to be better people.
Right.
And whatever, if I turn one person around, then hey, I've done my job.
Good.
All right, everybody, you know what? Roker's ex-tagger, and now you have a magazine. Is that
now
right?
I do a magazine.
It's called Herb?
It's called Herb,
You guys know it? Do you identify with these guys when they're talking about tagging and doing graffiti?
Well, I mean, I know this kid. I've known him for like 10 years. We rode together in the early 80s, and I came up just with an appreciation for hip-hop culture. And the main thing I've seen deteriorate is I've seen the violence escalate, and I've seen that, change with people, and that's really scary. I'm concerned he's out there doing this, but it started about art. It started about culture.
How did it help you?
As far as me, it gave me an edge. It gave me the style that I brought, the graffiti that I took.